Once upon a time, in a cozy little house nestled at the edge of a sun-kissed meadow, lived the Johnson family. They were a close-knit family of four: Mr. and Mrs. Johnson, their twins Emma and Ethan, and their loyal golden retriever Max. Emma and Ethan were identical twins born just minutes apart, but as they grew, it became apparent that they weren't entirely identical. Emma shot up like a sunflower, her legs stretching towards the sky, while Ethan remained a few inches shorter. Their parents celebrated their uniqueness, but the world outside wasn't always so kind. Emma revealed in their height. She loved being able to reach the top shelves without a stool and play basketball with the older kids. Her confidence soared as they stood head and shoulder above the pair. Ethan, on the other hand, felt like he was constantly playing catch up. His friends would pat him on the back and say, "Don't worry, you will catch up soon." But those words didn't ease the ache in his heart. As they entered middle school, differences became more pronounced. Emma joined the volleyball team, her long limbs gracefully skipping the ball over the net. Ethan, though talented in his own right, felt overshadowed. He tried and focused on his studies, finding solace in books and art. But the whispers in his hallway stung. "Emma, the tall one, right? What happened to Ethan?" Miss Johnson, Mrs. Johnson noticed the change in her son. One evening, as they sat on the porch swing, she gently asked Ethan, "How are you feeling about being shorter than Emma?" Ethan hesitated, his gaze fixed on the firefields dancing in the twin light. "It's hard, Mom. I feel like I am always trying to measure up. Emma's so confident, and I'm just average." His mother wrapped her arms around his shoulder. "You know, Ethan, being tall isn't the only measure of greatness. You have a heart that is twice as big as everyone else. You are kind, thoughtful, and creative. Those qualities matter more than any height." Ethan smiled, tears glinting in his eyes. "Thanks, Mom." From that day on, Mrs. Johnson made it her mission to celebrate Ethan's uniqueness. She frowned, she framed his act and hung proudly on the living room. The encouraged him to write stories and poems, and soon his words flowed like a gentle smile. Emma cheered him on, too amazing that her brother's talents were just as valuable as her own. As high school approached, Emma's height leveled off and Ethan's confidence soared. He joined the debate team where his eloquence and passion shone. Emma continued to excel in sports, but she no longer felt superior. Instead, she admired her brother's resilience and wit. One day, as they stood side by side watching the sunset paint the sky in horns of orange and pink, Emma whispered, "Ethan, you are my hero." He chuckled. "Me? Why?" "Because you taught me that greatness isn't about how tall you stand, it's about the kindness you spread and the love you give." And so the Johnson twins grew up, each finding their own path. Emma became a pediatrician, a healing little heart, while Ethan wrote novels that touched souls. They stood together not as equals in height, but as equals in spirit, as a testament to the power of love, acceptance, and the beauty of being uniquely yourselves. Mr. and Mrs. Johnson was Mr. Johnson was retired botanist. He was a retired botanist with a penchant for cultivating exotic orchids. His study for filled with other leather-bound books and delicate plant specimens. He had a gentle demeanor and loved sharing stories about his travels to remote rainforests. Mrs. Johnson, a former librarian, was the heart of the family. Her warm smile, her homemade apple pies made with her house feel like a heaven. She had a secret talent for playing the piano, and her melodies often floated through the rooms. Emma was the older twin, born just a few minutes before Ethan. Her golden hair cascaded down her neck and her eyes sparkled with curiosity. She loved adventure, climbing trees, exploring hidden caves, and dreaming of far off lands. Emma's favorite place was the attic, where she discovered dusty trunks filled with vintage dresses and sepia tone graphics. She dressed up and pretended to be a time traveling explorer, regaling Ethan with tales of imaginary worlds. Ethan, the younger twin, had tousled brown hair and a thoughtful expression. His room was a sanctuary of creativity. Stacks of sketchbooks, half finished poems, and a telescope by the window. He loved stargazing and pondering the mysteries of the universe. Unlike Emma's extroversion, Ethan found solace in solitude. He'd sit in the swing, watching fireflies dancing and write letters in imaginary pen pals in distant galaxies. Max, the golden retriever, was more than just a pet. He was a confidant. His tail waggled in rhyme with the family laughter, and he would crawl up at the foot of Emma's bed or rest his head on Ethan's lap during late night conversation. Max had a sixth sense of emotions. When Ethan felt down about his height, Max would nuzzle him as if saying, "You are perfect just the way you are." Together, the Johnsons were a tapestry of love, quirks, and shared memories. Their cozy home echoed with laughter, whispered secrets, and the promise that no matter how different they were, they would always stand tall, whether in inches or in spirit. Emma and Ethan stepped into the bustling world of college. Their paths dived in like two different tribes, finding their own way in the sea. Emma chose a prestigious university known for its medical program. Her volleyball skills earned her a spot in the college team, and she embraced the challenge. The court became her second home, and they thrived under the bright light. She majored in pediatrics medicine, driven by memories of her childhood visits to the local clinic. Emma's heart swelled with compassion as she learned about healing tiny bodies and comforting worried parents. Late nights in the library, stacks of textbooks, and the smell of antiseptic became her companions. Emma's confidence remained unshaken, but she missed the meadows and firefields of home. Ethan's college choice surprised everyone instead of bustling campuses.